you tell us where do we find you online and how can we find out more about Making Kos?
You can find me online on Facebook at Making Kos with a capital K-O-S. At the moment only a Facebook page, but working up towards a blog. But there's one thing I just want to backtrack briefly back to the benefit for the children of having a food garden so close at hand. To introduce young people at primary school age to nurturing plants and beginning to really build a relationship with something that they don't normally have the opportunity. You know, watching the lifespan of a plant, getting your hands stuck in the soil, learning how you cut it, you know, each of those steps, and then how you prepare it. I mean, children will try and eat things that ordinarily, if they were just dished up to them on a plate, they might think brinjal, but you know, if they've put it in, watched it flower, the little ones start growing, decide, okay, when is it ready to pick, and now how do I cook it? They're going to eat it for sure.
100%.
So that, you know, catching people young, they'll become gardeners for sure, and they begin to understand something about being custodians of the earth. And that's why, in a way, I think it's fantastic that My School, My Village, My Planet are the ones that are sponsoring this, because it's really about building a relationship with the fact that we're on this earth and, you know, it feeds us and we feed it.
Absolutely. I mean, as I said, we've set up more than 250 gardens to date, and it's really, with the support of organizations like My School and Woolworths Financial Services, who came together to make this particular garden a reality. To me, it makes no sense that every single school in the country doesn't have one like this. We really need to make this the norm. Most of my clients can remember a time when their grandparents, or maybe even their parents when they were growing up, used to grow their own. And it's taken a whole generation for people to sort of wake up and go, that was valuable on so many levels. And of course we're seeing that there's an incredible growth in demand and the popularity of edible gardens and small scale intensive systems in urban environments. And we're really grateful for the launch which happened yesterday. It was a great success and an inspiration for more people to do this kind of thing.
And it certainly gives you peace of mind. You know exactly what went into your food, exactly what it was sprinkled with, hopefully just water, and you know exactly what you're feeding your family. I think I find a lot of comfort in that.
Absolutely. I love the fact that it's not packaged. And that's it's straight from the garden to the table. There's no travel miles. There's no packaging. It's rewarding on every level.
Now, not only have you two made me incredibly hungry, but I'm jonesing to get my hands on some dirt now. I'm going to spend the rest of the day in the office. So tell us a little bit about Urban Harvest before we go.
All right. So Urban Harvest was started in 2006. It really came out of a passion which had been developing over a number of years. I was involved in various community development projects while I was studying at UCT, and I found that communities were asking for food gardens and that my own passions were gravitating in that direction. So for a few years I'd set up a number of gardens. I always had my own garden at home, and then one day one of my best friends was at the hospital having a baby, and I wanted to be involved but I couldn't be there with them, so I let myself into their house. I had a key, and I set up a food garden for them. When they came home, there was this food garden, and they were incredibly surprised and happy and thankful, and they said to me, people really need to have this. You really need to offer this to people. And that was the start of Urban Harvest, and as I said, many years later we've set up over 250 food gardens, and the business of Urban Harvest is really installation of unique, beautiful, highly productive food gardens in any environment. Again, rooftops, vertical gardens, balconies, for hotels, restaurants, private residences, and then where my heart is most invested is in the community development, supporting schools and creches and community centers to grow their own food. And so we do the installation. We also do maintenance, which we call edu maintenance, because education's an incredibly essential part of the process. We really hold our clients' hands, in fact, sometimes over a number of years, and we visit every month, sometimes 4 times a month. It depends on what the project needs. But that edu-maintenance hand-holding process makes sure that the gardens are sustainable. And lastly, we run training courses, which are associated with the edu-maintenance, but also run separately.